Hello, and welcome to episode 122 of the CinePhellas Podcast. That's right, CinePhellas, the only place where I went to a fancy French restaurant called Ashton Kutcher. I'm kind of French. All right. Well, I don't want to start the podcast on a Debbie Downer, but I feel like we have to talk about Bob. You were the one who actually broke the news to me. You want to break the news to the rest of us?
Oh, about the passing of Ed Asner.
Yeah, that's a big one because Up is one of my favorite animated movies.
Yes.
He played what was it?
Carl.
Santa Claus and Elf. And what?
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Yes, that's where he's. Yes, Santa
He was
Claus.
also J. Jonah Jameson in the Marvel Spider-Man animated series.
Yeah, the Fox one from the 90s.
Yeah. The one I mean all of us grew up with.
Yeah. And he was the Boondocks. I think Kevin, you've seen the Boondocks before, right?
Mhm.
The cartoon. Parts of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Onceler. The little girl with the lemonade stand. Have you seen that episode?
No, I didn't see that one.
No, where it's pretty much he gets a little girl who's like 4 years old named Jasmine, and she has a lemonade stand, and he's like just pimping her out to the neighborhood. It's a really funny episode. And then she has like the word lemonade written out, but the E's are backwards, and she's like, "Oh, it's supposed to be cute." And he's like, "Do you think ignorance is cute?" And he's like, "Get on the corner and make me some money." No, but that was a big one. You broke that news to me. He was 91. I think that was the same age as Richard Donner too, right? We talked about
Yeah.
him on.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, and he was the man who bought Kuta Kente and Roots. So he's got a real storied career.
Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore show too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where JFK.
He was in a ton of stuff.
But I mean, a huge loss for everyone involved. That man's like, and not to mention, like in this time, you'll hear a certain older celebrity do something, and everyone comes out. Did you hear this one time he did this? Do you hear the one time? Ed Asner was one of those people where no one really jumped out and said anything bad about him. I've heard only great things about the man.
And he just finished. I don't know if you guys saw on Disney Plus. They're making a Doug show. The dog from Up.
From Up, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm looking at the IMDb, and he's in every one of the episodes. So that'll be kind of a sad farewell.
Yeah.
Probably one of the last things he's doing or has done.
Hey, what's up, Armando?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We're talking about Ed
Asner.
Asner. That's it.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that today. Yeah, no, that was sad to hear. He was on. He was around for so long. You know, he was good in a lot of stuff I saw him in.
Oh, he was the narrator in American Dad as well. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm looking through his stuff, just like jogging my memory.
Who
And
is Sid Weinberg in Cobra Kai?
that's the
What
wait,
character?
is it the landlord, right?
Is it the landlord?
No, the landlord's the guy from Borat. Who the hell is? Oh, Sid, it's Johnny's stepdad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
too. Yeah, he was just an actor. Whenever I saw him, whenever I heard him, like in Up, or I saw him come on to whatever project it was, like I liked him. I always liked his presence. He had a very grandfatherly presence about him.
Yeah, and if you ever get a chance, check out that Boondocks episode, Jasmine's Lemonade Stand.
Where can I watch that? Is it on streaming?
Oh, HBO Plus has it with the Cartoon Network Adult Swim type thing.
Okay.
Hulu probably does as well.
Yeah, it's from that Adult Swim era. I don't even know if they have Adult Swim anymore.
Can I just watch that episode, or do I need to watch everything else?
Oh, you can just watch that.
Okay, so
Although I would highly recommend watching the series just because it's hilarious.
I saw like a couple of episodes. I liked it. I still like those cartoon shorts in the paper. They used to have them in there.
Yeah, I have some of the comic books actually. It was a newspaper like type comic, but they put it in graphic novels. Yeah, it hasn't aged so well. Like when you go back and read it now, like it's old. And I want to talk about well, Kevin, I'll let you say it first because I watched the first Candyman, but I'll let you talk about the new one.
All right, yeah. So I saw the new one. I saw it like 11 o'clock on Friday. It's the only one in the theater. I thought it was until I saw someone get up at the end. But I loved. What's the director's name? It's a female. Hold on, I'm gonna find out her name.
Nia DaCosta.
Yes, yes. I think you're 100% right. I'm just gonna. Yes, you're right. Nia DaCosta. I thought she did a great job. Like from the beginning, I don't want to say anything, but from the beginning, like it messes with your head. Like the way the intro is done, the score, the cinematography is amazing. I would. It's my pick for best cinematography I've seen this year. It's incredible. And I like what they did with the lore. Like they expand on it. I thought the performances were good. What's her name from WandaVision? Rambo. I don't know her real name, but she's in it.
Yeah. I don't know her real name.
Teyonah Parris.
Yes, thank you, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Damn, Armando's
No
just
problem.
pulling these out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Great, man.
Yeah, I'm like a human IMDb sometimes.
But I thought she was great, and
Yeah.
like, Armando, who's the guy who played the villain from Aquaman, the guy with the metal guy, the black metal guy.
Oh, Yahya Abdul Mateen
That's him.
II.
He was good. Yeah. It was.
I almost said
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm way off.
He's tall enough to be the Candyman.
No one else was worried about the fact that Armando could have totally made that name up and none of us challenged it. His name's Wakanda Titi Marshall.
But it's very it's stylized. It's very well done. It's more than just like a cheesy horror movie, like something like, I don't know, Paranormal Activity or any other 100 horror movies that come out on Netflix or the theaters. It has style. It has something to say. There's a lot of social themes in it. I won't spoil that either because I can't talk about it without giving it away. But once you see it, you understand. I think everyone should go see it in the theater.
All right, cool. And I could be weird like this because I am a little weird, but I did check out the soundtrack on YouTube.
Amazing.
Doesn't it remind you of the Neon Demon just a little bit?
Yeah, it's all synthesizers. Yes.
Synthwave.
Yeah. Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, you got me
That's
there.
awesome.
Now I'm really interested.
Yeah, I
Oh
saw it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I saw it too, and like I saw it there at the AMC because I have A-list, so I get to see it. I get the monthly thing, so I see things for free there.
Yeah.
And I went on they have like Dolby Cinema, and like it was like crazy how loud it was like in certain parts, but it works like for that kind of movie. Like it does make it creepier. Like
Yes.
it's not really jump scares, but like the atmosphere really helped with that. You know, I still think the original is, I guess, I prefer the original, but I still think this one did enough to like basically tell its own story and like still fit into the lore. Like at first I was like, okay, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I did think how it does fit into it and how they explained it. It was like, okay, I like it. Like there's like some things happening where it was like a twist, I guess, but I wasn't even watching it for that. It's just like I was like, okay, it works, and I wasn't mad about it. I was like, I was just very into it just because I was liking what it was doing overall. Like I was very invested. I was like surprised how short it was, but it moves really fast. I was
Yes.
like, no, this is gonna be like
The
2
editing is
hours.
incredible. Yes.
Yeah,
How long is
really
it?
good.
An hour and a half, and it's
Yeah.
flies.
Really?
It's very, very fast movie, but nothing is wasted. Every scene has a purpose. Every scene is done well. All the kills are great. Like it's bloody. I give it 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. That's pretty
Yeah.
solid, dude.
And I don't know if I heard you. You heard me before. But it's the best movie I've seen this year. It's the movie to beat.
This beat out the heights for you?
Yes.
I just see Logan. You're probably gonna get the vinyl or something because they have synthwave.
Yeah, probably. I'm like, that's where it got my interest. I'm like, synthwave, huh?
Wait,
Wanna
so
see it?
Armando, you saw it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, how badass was the ending?
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
crazy. I wasn't expecting. I was like, okay, like there was a point where I was like, is it just gonna end here? They're gonna mess it up because I don't know why. I was just like, and then I was like, okay, like how they did that. I thought it was really, really cool because I was like, I didn't know that how things were gonna go. I was like, okay, are they gonna acknowledge certain things? And then when certain things happen at the end, like there's like a reveal, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool how they did that. Like I really liked how it ended.
I'm not gonna spoil this for you guys. I'm just gonna beat around the bush, but Armando knows what I'm talking about. At the end with the cop when he opens the door and you see the silhouette of the shadow. You remember that part?
Yeah.
That I love that shot.
Yeah, that's a really
incredible shot. That's
Yeah.
all I'll say. Not spoiling anything, but yeah, you guys, the three of you should definitely go see this week before the next podcast.
All right, cool. I'm gonna check it out.
I'd love to hear what you guys think.
I think I might go check it out Friday. I got the day off, so
Yeah.
I'll go at like an early screening. Yeah, I'm interested now. Everybody's been talking this movie up, so I'm like, I'll give it a chance. It did really well. I'm not really a huge fan of the first one, the original movie. I just rewatched it last Halloween. I don't know. I was kind of bored.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I like
don't
the first one. I forget the woman from the first movie.
Did
Jimmy
Jimmy
Madison?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
We all
I-
knew that one.
yeah, that would, yeah, she's a classic.
But here's I have a question, Armando and Kevin. Do you have to watch the first one to get the new one?
I had I remember the first one. I remember seeing it. I remember the overall story. Like, I don't remember the details in it, but that's another thing that this movie does. Like, the way it explains what happens in the first movie is done. I love the way they did it.
Because I know some characters come back. I don't want to spoil it though.
Yeah, you don't have to, but it does. It maybe you'll probably appreciate it more, but it's not really necessary if you haven't seen it in a while or you haven't seen it at all. Like they explain it good enough. Like Kevin said, that you'll be like, okay, it makes enough sense, and you can just go into it not knowing too much.
Now, Logan, you said you rewatched it too, right?
Yeah.
I rewatched it too. Do they ever explain why it's Candyman? There's no candy involved.
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, it's bees. It's honey. So if anything, it should be Honeyman or Bee Boy.
Right.
They expand on the lore a lot in this movie.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
Both of those questions you just asked now are answered.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because I wondered that for years. Like who pours honey on someone and it's like tee candy? It's
I know of some reasons, but I don't know if they say tee beforehand. But hey, I can get behind it.
No, really. Because I was like, who would look at that and say candy? Like, yeah.
It said I'm looking at I was looking to see when the next time it plays is, and then I'm seeing like, oh, that's right, Free Guy came out, Don't Breathe 2 came out, Old is still out.
Yeah, no one's talking about Don't Breathe 2. Did anyone see that?
No.
I didn't even realize it came out.
You could say they're blind to it.
Yeah, the reviews have been shit. The reviews haven't been good, so.
I remember the first movie. They have the Jane Levy and the kid who looks like Randy Orton, who was in that Prisoners movie. What's it? Dylan?
Dylan Minnette. He was on 13 Reasons Why.
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the character, but I didn't like the characters too much. But I remember the turkey baster. That really scared me.
Yeah, that was crazy.
One of the best scenes in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like I have PTSD every time I see a turkey baster. It's like I'm not kidding. Like every Thanksgiving, I think of it.
I like the first Don't Breathe. It was okay. That movie was just I think because I was talking to somebody about not talking to somebody I know on Letterboxd was talking about he watched it recently it was on K I think to promote the second one, and he was like, I liked it. It was okay, but he was like, oh well, it's nobody to like. I just felt gross watching it, and I think that's kind of the point of it. But I remember I just didn't like anybody in it. I was like, no, I wouldn't care if anybody in this movie died. Because I don't know, like now that I really think about it, I didn't mind it. Like I liked it fine, but I think I was like, this is a fine one-off thing. I didn't know if it needed a sequel, but if it's on cable, I might watch it eventually. But I remember seeing ads. I was like, it's a weird thing because I think now they're trying to make Stephen Lang like he's supposed to be kind of the good guy, I guess, kind of, sort of, in that movie. And I'm like, I don't know how that works, but I mean maybe
he's really not the bad guy in the first one. I mean.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's his house and they broke in and he's insane. Like he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a safe haven type movie where they kind of went into.
Yeah, because the thing too is like yeah, he's not really the bad guy. Like he's really broken. He's crazy. Like that thing when the turkey baster came out, I was like, okay, this is wild. And like I get why he does what he does in that first movie. And I'm not offended. I'm like, okay, fine. If you want to go that route, I'm not saying, oh, I was offended. But it was just crazy how everybody was just so mad about the second movie existed. Because like I don't mind. I'll watch it eventually. It was just like the first one. I don't know if I was like truly connected with it. But like I did think like as far as like a whole movie, it worked really well. And like maybe the second one works fine on as it is. But I don't know. It's gonna like I'm curious how they're gonna make that work. But I mean I'm fine with it, whatever it is, whatever they do with it. I just didn't really get it. I wasn't really like I have to see it in a theater.
Yeah, me too. It has Hulu written all over it. Like you're just going to Hulu and it's there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think they might make him supernatural. If I were a betting person, I would bet that. Like the blind man is now supernatural.
Yeah, and I don't mind that.
No, just let the blind man be crafty, you know? What was it? There was a movie with Rutger Howard where he was blind. It was like Blind Fury or something.
The samurai movie, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just let blind people be scary, you know?
There's a scene from that movie, Blind Fury, that I remember that would never pass today. There's an Asian guy, and of course he's blind. He touches his face, and he's like, "Oh, you're a Japanese, ain't you?"
So much of that movie wouldn't fly, but God, like it's a movie. If I found it on Blu-ray at like the Five Below or some rent, I might have to get it just because of that. Like, it was such a tacky movie. And it's got his walking stick that doubles as a katana.
Yeah. I want to watch that movie again.
Yeah, right? Like it should be no surprise that he also did Hobo with a Shotgun.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, I own that.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray. I love it. Slick and Ivan, that's one of my favorite movies.
It's the only movie where the dialogue of "Don't you die on me, you filthy whore" is uttered, and not only uttered, I'm sorry, yelled by a doctor. Such a great film.
And The Plague, remember them?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch that now. I'm gonna go on a Rutger Hauer fest.
What was that Rutger Hauer movie with Stallone that came out in like the 70s?
Oh, isn't that from the 80s? Nighthawks. Nighthawks, I think is the name.
Yeah, I saw that
like
on
81, I think that came out.
I saw that on Blu-ray at my record store for like $3, and I'm like, I don't know if I should get it.
I hear it's okay. Like everybody on Letterboxd has been talking. Like I know a lot of people that like watch a lot of older movies. They say it's fun. I haven't seen it either, but I hear it's okay.
Yeah, and since we're on, let's get away from Rutger Hauer. I saw the Jigsaw movie. I finally saw it.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Okay, here's the thing. The Saw parts are the best parts of the movie, but they're only 5 minutes out of like a 2-hour movie.
Oh, is this the Chris Rock one?
Yeah. And the color palette of the movie is awful, dude. It looks like someone, like, here's my water bottle. Picture this filled with urine and the camera is going through. That's what it honestly looks like. The color palette is awful. That being said, I didn't mind Chris Rock, to be honest, but it's so badly written. It really is.
It's all over the place, right?
Police jargon that we've heard 1,000 times. The Saw parts are literally the best parts, and the new Jigsaw I didn't care for, but the traps, I'm like, it's okay. But I would not watch it again. I don't like any of the Saw movies past like Saw 3 or whatever.
Yeah, same here.
I know I talked about it on the podcast now, but I love that joke in the beginning with Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah.
I love that joke.
What would you give it? What would you give it out of 5?
2. I actually liked the Jigsaw more than this one, the last one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
It was okay.
At least I won't have to wait long to watch it. I'll just wait for it to come on HBO or something, and then barely watch it.
Yeah, like they're gonna drag you in like the beginning. I'm like, oh man, what is everyone talking about? The first 5 minutes are really good, and then it kind of goes downhill. And they set up like it's going to be a sequel, and I'm like, I don't care. I feel like this is almost a Halloween episode. We're talking a lot about horror movies.
Well, we're coming close to September, which is close to October.
We're 2 months away. Close
Coming
enough.
up to the fall season. I'm excited.
Me too.
Fall TV, fall movies. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and are you guys watching American Horror Story?
Hey, I was about to say, okay.
Yeah.
I watched Story, but I have not watched Stories. Like,
Oh, okay.
All right, let's start off with stories. I think I may have mentioned this to Bob. Machete plays Santa Claus in one episode. If that doesn't sell you on it,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to watch that now.
That's my favorite episode. And Logan, you said you saw one too. The kid in the woods. The kid goes missing.
Yes, that was my favorite episode. Probably one of the best episodes of American Horror Story in years. I thought it was top notch all across the board. Reminded me of like Wrong Turn meets X-Files, like an old
You're right.
X-Files.
Wrong turn. I forgot about that.
It was so original. I thought it was just very unique, and it stood out to me. I think wasn't there like 7 episodes that?
Yeah, is the season over?
I think so. Yeah.
The first 2 episodes I didn't care for because it was just they were beating you over the head with references to the old show. The first season.
Yeah, episode 3 I liked a lot, and then episode 5, 6, and 7, the last 2. The one in the woods, basically, and then the one at the murder house video game. The final one was pretty good.
Yeah, Kevin, there's only 7 episodes, so you can get through it really easily.
Yeah, my buddy and I we're finishing up Kimmy Schmidt, and we're probably gonna watch that next. But the one in the woods, is that the one with Cody Fern?
Yes.
And that's the best one you said?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I'll look out for that one.
Creepy as hell.
I like him. He's a good actor too.
He is. He had this Australian accent. I think he's Australian, right?
Is he Australian?
I have no
think
idea.
so. I don't think so. It sounded really phony to me, his accent.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. But yeah, he was great. He played the park ranger.
I know it's not Australian, but his accent was just too hard. Like
He is
no one
Australian.
tells a British accent, and it's like, "Good evening, Governor." It's like you're trying.
Hello, Governor.
But American Horror Story, the first 2 episodes were really good, man.
Yes.
They're really
Yes. I watched them today. They were excellent. I didn't know what to
good. I
expect.
rewatched them twice.
Yeah.
I love Sarah Paulson in it.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah, she has like that crackhead look.
Crackhead. She's like, "You took it, you motherfucker, didn't you? You should have fucking did that."
Yeah.
It can't be an American Horror Story season without Sarah Paulson.
Have Sarah Paulson crying hysterically or being hysterical. Yes.
Exactly.
And then those I don't want to spoil it, but the pale people, the Nosferatu looking people,
Yes.
they're creepy, man.
I like the explanation of why they are the way they are, and
Yeah.
that I thought that was really cool.
And do you guys get Shining vibes from
Yes.
Finn Whitrock? Is that his
Yes.
Yes, totally.
name? The kid in the back
Yeah.
seat, the
Mhm.
driving, the typing on the typewriter, not a typewriter, computer, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Dialing that rotary phone. And
Yeah. Finn
I forgot what
Whitrock,
year it is.
Finn Whitrock is really good. That blonde that plays his wife, that she's been in a bunch of seasons. I thought she was
Yeah,
really
Lily.
good.
Lily Rab or something.
Lee Ray, yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's her name? Okay. Yeah, she was great. I like how it's in Cape Cod, too, where they filmed Jaws, and they reference Jaws in the second episode, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And
Now,
Macaulay
dude-
Culkin is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Macaulay was good. I liked Macaulay Culkin in it.
He's
Yeah.
kind of like the drug addict, but he's also the movie buff. And then the second episode, he's talking about Jaws filming in Cape Cod, which is really cool.
He just he just fits perfectly into American Horror Story.
Yeah.
He has that look.
He's kind of an oddball in real life, so
Yes.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
it's
That was
funny
a-
that he's playing like a movie buff when his brother was in the last Scream as a movie buff as well.
Yeah.
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 But would you guys take the black pill?
No, because that one part when he was. Oh, I don't want to say, but he was drinking something that.
Oh, the smoothie. Yeah.
Yes, the
That's
smoothie. Yes, that was nasty.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Is this the one where the theme is like double feature or whatever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
6 episodes this and 4 episodes the other one.
Oh.
So this is called Red Tide. I don't know what the second part's called, but it's probably the UFO one, I'm assuming.
Does it connect or is it? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking.
hope it
maybe-
doesn't. I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't you? I kind of like the fact that they're even splitting one season into 2 stories so they don't have to drag something on, because like some of them were good and the other ones were really bad. I didn't like Covenant. A lot of people like Covenant. I wasn't a fan.
That's the first one I came in on.
You mean Coven?
Covenant, yeah.
Yeah, Covenant it is aliens.
Yeah, that one too.
No, I love Coven. I'm sorry. about that. That's one of my favorite seasons. It's underrated in my opinion.
See, I didn't like, but then again, I just think the first season's the best out of all of them. I thought that was fantastic.
Me too.
I like two.
That 1984, the last season, I loved it.
I never watched 1984.
You would love it. You love slasher flicks from the 80s.
Yeah, that I keep missing. It's on Hulu, right? I could watch it on Hulu.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
And I think it's on Netflix too. The whole shebang.
Yeah, it's on Amazon too.
Yeah, what was great about it, all the big players in American Horror Story aren't in it. Like Evan Peters, Sarah Paulson. It's a lot of the unknown actors and side characters and stuff, or actors.
Well, Evan Peters is in the new one.
Yeah, he's in the new one. I'm just talking about.
He's awesome. I like his
1984.
character in this one.
His
Yeah.
pajamas, yeah.
Now, do you think maybe like I was thinking maybe the way they connected is the second part of the season is whatever he's writing.
Oh, yeah, that could be a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I know it's alien. Yeah, it's aliens, and it's I know one thing about this. It's the first half of the season's by the sea, and the second half is in sand, like in the desert. And it's
Like Roswell or something.
Mhm.
New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I only saw the first one. I didn't watch the second one yet because I just had things to do. But I didn't like it. Like this one, because some of the other ones I did try to start, and sometimes I'll watch like the first one or two, and then I just lose interest really quick. But this one at least, like it has like something where like it seemed like it actually has like a structure where like I can kind of connect to it. Like it seemed like it's going somewhere. Whereas like some of the other ones, it felt long. Or like sometimes like, okay, what's the whole point of this? Like even by the first episode, it's like you already kind of used up whatever like stuff you already like tried to sell me on into ads or whatever. And this one at least felt like it has a tone that it's set on. I think splitting it in two is good because it's Ryan Murphy, and then he's probably good. He was good. I think he finally realized he could mess it up, or whoever writes for that, whoever's in charge of that show, like knows that they can run out of material quick. So I think doing it in two parts will be good for it. You know, that way they don't it doesn't drag out.
Yeah, it's him and Brad Falchuk are like the showrunners. But they're just known for starting out strong and just going down the shitter halfway through. So hopefully, I'm hoping that doesn't happen with this by splitting it up in two parts.
Yeah. Now, do you think that happened with the crime story stuff with OJ and Versace? Do you think it's so high and went bad?
Yeah,
no,
I think
that
so.
one I don't think so. For me personally, I didn't mind those. Like Versace, I'm not gonna say I hated it. I liked it a lot actually, but it just went in a direction that I didn't expect, but I didn't mind what it did. And at least that one, he's not writing it. He was just like, I'll direct the episode, I'll produce it. But I can see like it's a different thing where it went into direction people didn't expect. I can see like a lot of people really didn't like that Versace one. They were at least mixed on it, like in general when it came out. But like as a whole, I actually liked that one a lot, and the OG one was good. I'm excited for the new one, the Impeachment one. It looks really good so far, and I already showed my mom the trailer. She was like, "Oh, this looks so good." Because we just finished Nip Tuck because we went back through that because I watched it like years ago when I was like 10 or 11 when it premiered, and my mom and I watched that show together. And we stopped by season 2, and then we have nothing to watch, so we watched that. And I was like, "Oh, this is right." My mom was like, "This show's crazy. Like, who created this show?" I was like, "Oh, this is Ryan Murphy. I don't know if you know who that is." And then I told her, "Oh, like this is the guy. He does 911 too." She's like, "Oh my god, that's the same guy," because she loves 911. So, and I'm not gonna get her to watch American Horror Story. That's not gonna be her thing. But I do like his style. Even I don't think it always works, but I do like him and like Brad Falchuk. Like they have some other stuff. Like Glee, they did Glee too, and it's the same thing where they keep going and going with the story where it's good, but sometimes they do run out of steam after a while because there's so much about you got to be shocking and twisty, and like Nip Tuck at least was like it like at least acknowledged that very early on where it was just a lot of crazy stuff going on. Whereas like I feel like everything after that kind of doesn't work as good because like even Glee, which I was really into it when it first started, it really dragged after a while. Like I would watch it because it was like just something to watch, and it was like fun to me. But after a while, it did kind of it ended at an appropriate time. And like I do wonder what like some of his some of his other shows, like even American Horror Story, got to a point where the first 3 seasons I liked it. And even like the asylum one, I remember I was already kind of checking out of that one because I was like, they're in an asylum the whole time. So oh my god, how long is this gonna take? And then it did get better, and I do give like Ryan Murphy and like whoever, like anybody else who helps write these shows, like Brian Falchuk or whoever, credit, because at least they're doing crazy stuff that they're like, okay, just we are on FX. We don't really have to worry about, oh, we gotta put in a certain thing and we gotta edit it down. Like they're at least putting stuff in there that feels genuine, even if I don't even think it works all the time.
And one thing I like is their dialogue, because to me their dialogue is always great, no matter what season or what show they're doing.
I like the constant the plot twists, and a lot of like even in some like individual episodes, there's like a lot of sometimes twists.
Yeah,
that's what turned me on to when I watched Coven, because as I said, Coven was the first one that I watched. I think that's why I came in at season 3, right?
Yeah.
I just loved the fast-paced style of the dialogue and the filmmaking. But like I know Coven. No, we said that's your favorite one, right?
Yeah, to me it's very underrated.
It's just like when the axe guy comes in, before the axe guy comes in, I thought that season was incredible. I don't know. I didn't like the axe guy.
And didn't he like jazz or something?
I forgot, yeah. But it's that way with every season. Like in 4, it's when Twisty dies. And I don't know. It kind of lost steam after Twisty died.
Oh,
which should have never happened. Twisty was the reason that season was getting real good.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind it, but
it was kind of boring.
Well, it was a bait and switch. You give us a serial killer, and then whoop, it's a little rich. But yeah, that one. But I did like Asylum as well, though. I did the first 2. I really enjoyed.
I liked my favorite underrated season is Cult.
I liked Cult too. That one was crazy.
Yeah,
like it's very on the nose. Like it's very much like, oh, we gotta comment on like politics, but like at the same time, I did think it worked really good.
Yeah, and I thought that whole season was just a showcase of how good Evan Peters is, because I thought that's his best performance.
Yeah, he was really, really good in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad because Evan Peters is a great actor. He's been in American Horror Story like crazy, obviously the X-Men movies, and he was in Mayor of Easttown on HBO. Other than that, I don't see him popping up in much.
He was in WandaVision too.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's him as the same guy. But yeah.
And he was in Kick-Ass, remember?
Yeah, both versions of Quicksilver have been in the movie Kick-Ass.
Mm-hmm. I like your wording, Bob. You're like, that young man leaned out.
Yeah. I feel dirty. I feel real dirty saying that. Cheers.
Oh, he looks different.
It's Sunday. I'm allowed to be a little religious.
I can see him having a career like Johnny Depp. He'll just be like that kooky character actor that does like different kinds of stuff.
Or like Crispin Glover if he didn't go insane.
Almost kick Letterman in the face.
Yeah. That's one man that I would love to interview for no reason, for no specific project, just to sit and talk to Crispin Glover.
Saw him in was something to do with channels. And do you remember that terrible movie called Epic Movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
He was Willy Wonka. I forgot he was Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I forgot.
Really?
About that.
Yeah,
he was.
I don't remember that.
I owned it at one point.
No, he was in the remake of Willard, and I actually really liked the remake of Willard.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
No, if you ever want to get a rise out of me, Tyler Perry and all those early 2000 parody movies, God damn it, I hate those.
So the perfect storm would be if Tyler Perry made a horrible spoof movie while being in the Fast and Furious series.
I would be dead in this chair right now.
Give me skeleton with glasses on there.
I want.
Oh, good.
No, I want there to be another reality where after we log off, Niall turns around and he puts on Medea uniform like Psycho, like Norman Bates. Come on now, time for dinner.
No, let's say about Crispin Glover. Did anyone watch the movies that made us?
Yeah.
The one with back.
No.
Joe, yeah, where you found, yeah.
The
Yeah,
Netflix.
I haven't seen
I
that
thought it was
yet.
really interesting. Like they told him he had to stay in frame, and he kept moving out of frame. So the production crew, with the set people, built like a fence around him, and that's what's kept him inside the shot. I think that.
Yeah, he was
Not only
such
that-
a. He sounded like really hard to work with. Like he wouldn't follow Bob Zemeckis' direction at all.
Yeah.
Like the way he walked into the door and stuff, and he
He's like, how should I walk in? He's like, just walk into it.
just walk.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I have to kind of go like this.
But he's awesome in that movie, though. I must,
Yeah.
I have to give him credit.
Yeah.
He's great in that movie.
As a kid, I wondered why in the second movie Marty's dad looked so bad.
Because it wasn't
Then
him.
come to find out it wasn't Crispin Glover. Like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They just overly make up someone to make him look Crispin Glover-esque. And
I
then
didn't-
that whole lawsuit happened.
Yeah. And then I think that I know that's like that lawsuit that was like a thing where it was like, oh, it's a landmark case. Because like now you have to like approve someone's likeness or something. And they didn't approve like getting somebody who looks like him ahead of time.
No, they literally put a face, like they made a mask of his face and put it on someone.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it took like 20 years, and then they finally worked together in Beowulf.
Which just, God, why? Like that was the one that did it.
Oh, you don't like Beowulf?
It was okay.
I love Beowulf. I think that was awesome.
I think it was one of those things where the hype machine was so behind it, and I went in opening night, and you're like, yeah, and then you're like, I mean, yeah, like I don't know what I was expecting. It's just like you see certain previews, and it hypes you up, and then sometimes it just that time I wasn't expecting it to be that long. I hadn't read the book, so.
Oh, it's a total bastardization of the source material.
Yeah. We
There's
were,
no
we
naked
were
Angelina
reading,
Jolie in the movie in the book.
I see. That's why the book's not selling, man.
yeah, we were in high school when that came out, and it was like I was not excited to see it because I wasn't really into the original story. Like it was just not my thing at the time. But I remember I had a friend. He was so excited to see it because he had a big crush on Angelina Jolie. So he was like, "Oh, we're gonna see her naked in this way. You're gonna go see Beowulf." I was like, "I don't know. That doesn't look good to me." He was like, "No, we're gonna see her naked." And I was like, "It's just CGI. I mean, it's I guess it's better than nothing." But he was just so excited. We're gonna see her naked on the screen, and then we're gonna go. Are you gonna go see Beowulf? And I was like, "No, I don't, not really." And I just never saw it, but it's on Netflix, so I might watch it eventually, just out of curiosity. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm biased too because I saw that movie in the city on the 80-foot IMAX thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was 3D, so it was pretty.
Oh,
I should maybe watch it just on like my computer or my phone to see if it holds up. Maybe I was just dazzled by the effects. The 3D,
Yeah.
3D was awesome in that movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw it in 3D and I fell
Yeah.
asleep with my 3D glasses on.
You did?
Yeah, I was drinking. Me and Henry were drinking before, so I'm like passed out.
Do you like it though, or do you both didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
Did Henry like it?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
see it, so
Yeah.
Just going back to Horror Story, I just remembered Kathy Bates is supposed to be in it.
Yeah, I didn't see her name in the
Yeah,
credits.
yeah.
So I didn't know if she was going to be in it or not.
You know why? I
Maybe
wanna
she's
see
going to
it.
have just a pop-up character for an episode.
Probably.
No, apparently her and Macaulay Culkin have a very intense sexual scene.
Oh, damn it. A sexual scene? Did you say a sexual scene?
Yeah.
Kathy Bates? Ah, damn it. No,
That's
I
what
watched About Schmidt. I don't need it again. Like, that was a horror story. I don't.
No, apparently they have a very intense.
Oh,
You ever see the Married Children episode where Al's watching like some like bikini?
Oh,
thing?
I know what you're.
Yes.
I think it's Bridges of Madison County or something.
Yeah.
I know something with Kathy Bates in.
Yeah.
He's like says, like, "Oh, she's got a good rump or something."
Yeah, he's like, oh, she has a nice rump.
A nice rump. Is he like a British guy in the 50s?
And he becomes obsessed with Kathy Bates in the episode.
they're at Walmart. You can buy the whole series for like $25. I've been tempted just because
Do it,
I
man.
loved it
I
as a
got
kid.
it. I have it. I know it's on Hulu, but I think some like that's a show I'd be surprised if there's every episode is on there.
Well, that's why I kind of like
I
my
think it
physical
is.
media. I have
Yeah.
Community, I have Scrubs. Scrubs, they can't put it on Blu-ray because they only shot with a certain type of camera, and if you watch it on Hulu, half of the music's missing. So like in Scrubs, the music played a good part.
Oh yeah, that's
so they don't have the rights, or Hulu doesn't, to air it. So I was like, oh, I'm kind of glad I have that whole series. And then when they started they took off like 2 episodes of Community off of streaming because it was deemed offensive. And I was like, well, I love that show. And that's one of my favorite episodes was the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Where Ken Jeong plays the dark elf and he's wearing black as an elf. And they even address it. He's like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a dark elf. That show's amazing.
On the Hulu version of Marry Your Children, they have Love and Marriage, but on the DVD,
they do.
They don't have it.
Really?
They have like a substitute like theme, like it's all orchestral. It's no lyrics or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had all the episodes, I think, on Hulu. I might just buy it eventually, but like I just like having it on Hulu just because like I pay for it. So I was like, okay, as long as they have it here, they'll probably take it out eventually, because that's the problem with all these things streaming. There's always like, oh, it'll expire eventually, but like it's just good to have it for now that it's just on there. But the creepy thing though is like sometimes the theme song doesn't sync exactly, like, you know, when they put Married with Children, you know, the with children, you make like a sound, like a jail cell sound. And like it doesn't match up. So when you watch it on Hulu, it does it in the middle of the credits instead of where it's supposed to actually be at the beginning when they show the title. Yeah.
That's messy.
Yeah, I don't know how they messed it up, but other than that, it seems complete. But like I think they did have one episode or so that they didn't have when they put it on there first. But they pretty much have every episode on there now. So like that's pretty cool to see.
Speaking of like a show, this is another show I'm gonna watch, but I know you guys watched it. How's What If going?
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
Especially the Black Panther episode.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
The Black Panther episode to me was the weakest one. It was good, but like that first one was great, and number 3 was freaking solid as hell. I really liked it.
Murder mystery one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Avengers.
It reminded me of DC did it. Identity Crisis. Now, do you remember that one where
sounds familiar? Yeah.
Someone dies. You have the third one's that. I enjoyed the hell out of the 3rd episode.
Yeah, it was like a whodunit kind of thing.
And I don't want to spoil it, but the Hank Pym thing was good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That episode, I thought that episode was the best one, but no, I think the only reason I thought the Star-Lord one was the weakest one was just because the other ones had like these things coming right out of the gate. And I was too focused on Chadwick Boseman the entire 2nd episode where I didn't pay attention to the story. I was just like, oh, that's the last thing he did is Black Panther. Like I had all that running around in here.
Yeah. And I think it came out like the day, like the 1-year anniversary after he passed away.
But no,
it brought back the voice actors too, like Karen Gillan is in it, Kurt Russell. They bring back the same people.
Yeah, Michael Rooker's fantastic in it as well. Like I mean, I know it's just his voice, but like Yondu was such an awesome character. It kind of makes you wish there were more Yondu shows.
I thought him and Chadwick Boseman really carried that episode together. I thought they were great.
Yeah, just with voice, they have a lot of chemistry together.
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite episode so far. I like the Collector a lot too. He was awesome.
Oh, by the way, it's yesterday was a year since Chadwick.
Yesterday was a year.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Kev, you didn't see any of them?
No, you gotta watch all of them. I just
the first one set up real nice. I think that was a beautiful starting point because you had to suspend what you already know and then get into the what if. Because I think that if they would have started with the Star-Lord one or they could have started with the murder mystery one, but I think they picked the perfect one to be first.
And Jeffrey Wright as the narrator is perfect. We were talking about who would make a good host for the Twilight Zone. I would get Jeffrey Wright.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? It's good call. No, I think it's fantastic. There's 6 episodes, right? But they already said they're doing more than one season.
Yeah, they put out the first 3 already, so there's going to be another 3, and then the season is over.
It's really good, dude. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I want to watch it. Speaking of Loki, very quickly, I know you guys covered it. I thought Jonathan Majors is amazing Kang.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more of him in the Marvel Universe.
Ant-Man too, you'll see him, yeah.
Yeah, like I can't wait. I liked it. I like the way I was kind of iffy on Loki, but I like the way it ended, mainly because of Jonathan Majors. That whole episode with him was awesome.
He had like a Heath Ledger vibe to him, like Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The way that he went about it was kind of cool.
yeah.
Now, Bob, I need you to fact check me. Kang the Conqueror is the son of Reed Richards, right?
There were a lot of things that spun out of it, where in one universe that was it. In another universe, what they were trying to do, rumor had it, was in the MCU, the little boy that Iron Man helps in the third movie was going to turn around and somehow be Kang, but I'm glad that they went this way. Because Kang's supposed to be in the works for a while now. Great villain, but I think he's the setup guy. He's not the main guy.
No, I think the next main villain for the MCU needs to either be Doctor Doom or Galactus.
Yeah, and it's the only two that make sense. And honestly, I would love it if Kang came in. We're obviously getting Kang. He showed up in Loki.
Yeah.
And I think he shows up. Yeah, he's going to be in Quantumania. I'm excited for this next phase just because of I know Ant-Man's coming.
Yeah, I know. People are actually excited for Ant-Man for once.
What'd you guys think of Spider-Man?
Oh,
It looks exciting. It looks good.
So excited. That's a movie I got to see in
But
theater.
you guys were too good for my bootleg trailer. Yes.
Yeah, I started watching it. I'm like, nah.
I felt dirty, Niall. I felt like going between the two channels, trying to see the little squiggly lines go away for the restricted channels. I felt like no, I got to wait for the right time.
I'm not even kidding, because I was looking at it because my friend sent it to me, and I'm like, I think that's Zendaya. I can't tell. Like, but I ending. We can spoil it, right? Like,
Yeah.
half the world is seen it. Yeah. Dr. Octopus. That was cool.
Hello.
Cool thing
Peter.
where- Did everyone catch the claw thing? That
What
the claws
claw?
are red?
Oh, I didn't catch
Oh, I
that.
didn't. No.
So remember in
No,
the
I didn't
second,
notice that.
when Doc Ock was there, it was gold when he was in control. But when everything started taking over his subconscious and all that, those things glow red.
Mhm.
So when it pops out, they're red still. So that's why he would still be the villainous and not the redemption one at the end of the movie.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm also terrified of this movie for one reason is as a comic nerd, One More Day is the worst comic series I've ever read. It was the worst arc because you got all this evolution of the Spider-Man character. Aunt May dies. MJ and Peter get married. And as you're reading it, it's like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. And then they found a way to, he's like, wait, no, I need Aunt May back. And they're like, well, we'll erase everything, but you won't be married to MJ anymore. You guys won't even be romantically involved. Bop, 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 bop. And that's how they did it. So just the story left the bitter taste in my mouth. And then when they started doing it in the trailer, I was like, all right, I know they're going to do it different, but but my thing is so everyone has seen WandaVision on here, right? Yeah.
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 So when Doctor Strange winks, I think that I think WandaVision, Loki, and all those shows and this movie run at the same time. Okay, just hear me out. So it wouldn't surprise me if Doctor Strange is Agnes. I know it sounds weird, but he does the wink, and when he breaks the multiverse, that would be the instant moment where Wanda hears her boys yell again, because now in a different universe, they exist. So that makes me think that Agna Harkness is actually taking over Strange, or I'm not going Mephisto. Everyone goes Mephisto, but I'm saying like
I was gonna say.
that. I don't think that's Stephen Strange. Stephen Strange does it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He has some banter, all that. And if it is, and if they pull one over, awesome. I just thought that it was on the dot with that wink, and the, like even the mouth was open. Like it was, I was like, oh, is that Agatha? Because she comes and goes in WandaVision, where she appears and then she's gone for a while. It would be really kind of cool if she does that to break the multiverse, to get, like it just, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that wink
Yeah,
part.
that was-
Or the fact that when, how it looks like a fight on the train, what if that actually happens? All of a sudden Doctor Strange is part of that, that now his memory is wiped and he doesn't know who Spider-Man is either. and now he's in the same room with them, and now they're fighting in that other dimension, and that's where you see all the trains going through and stuff.
I feel like you watched this trailer with like a magnifying glass.
No, anytime there's a trailer coming out that I get really excited about, and I just felt like they were showing Easter eggs the entire time, just throwing them at you, because either one, none of that's going to be in the movie, or two, there's 150 million other things that are going to happen.
Yeah, and you were saying you were concerned about the story, but I'm concerned more about Sony, because it feels like Sony's coming more into it. So it's almost like they're stripping away the Marvelness from Marvel, and that's what I'm worried about. Because does that mean Venom is going to be, I guess, somehow with the Marvel universe? And they even interviewed Michael Keaton recently, and he said he doesn't know what's going on, pretty much.
Well, so from what I hear is Venom got pushed back until 2022 now.
Yeah.
I heard that.
So it makes me wonder if there's not more things at play.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sony played hardball just to get Tom Holland, they would allow Marvel to use them. I wonder if they're not using this even more because there's something in Venom that would tie it up real nice. Because we got a beautiful trailer for Venom 2 and yet nothing.
Yeah. But they interviewed Michael. That's a real story, by the way. They interviewed Michael Keaton, and he was so confused with like the Marvel stuff, the Sony stuff, and he literally said, "I don't know what's going on." Like, I swear, he might show up to a Venom set dressed as the Flash. Like, he's just a confused.
I was gonna say that Morbius movie too, because I know Michael Keaton's supposed to be. Yeah, that they pushed that back too.
He's in that too, yeah. So that's been pushed back for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
I forgot about that movie. You just said it.
They keep pushing back the one Jared Leto album, like the one Jared Leto act that I really want to see.
You just might want to stay away from comic book movies. Morbius, pushed back, Joker. You just take a break from the comic book movies.
Logan, Kev, you guys might like this. They put out a Batman 89 comic series, and it spins off of the Michael Keaton Batman. Dude, it's awesome, and they're supposed to be bringing in they're going to do the Billy D Two-Face.
Yeah.
Wait. I know about this. Is it out or is it?
Yeah, the first one came out already.
Can I get it digitally or is it just physical?
I could send you a link.
Thank you. They also did one with Superman. I heard they did a
Superman 76 is already out too.
Send me a link, man. I want it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, send me one too. I want to check it out.
I'll send you guys a link too. Someone did some small time. I think it was this normal dude. He made a video game out of Batman 89. It looks amazing.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, it's just something he did for fun, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's I read Batman 89, and it's funny. You're still hearing Michael Keaton's voice, like everything. I was just, this is beautiful. I had the Batman 66 run they did. I have the Batman meets Green Hornet crossover they did. I have all those. The one Kevin Smith wrote.
Really good.
But yeah, no, the Batman 89. I was surprised with how much I liked it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take a read of that. It's funny every time. They freaked out with Michael Keaton getting cast. I remember.
Oh yeah, Mr. Mom going to be Joker. People were mad.
Yeah, and then they freaked out when Ledger was basically cast.
No one ever likes the Batman casting. Did you notice that? Like when it was Ben Affleck, he was Daredevil. Christian Bale, he's too whatever. He was too artsy and whatever. Heath Ledger, he's that pretty boy going to be the Joker. Robert Pattinson, he's the Twilight boy. No one ever likes the casting for Batman.
Robert Pattinson, I think, is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
No, I'm excited. Like how you were like with the microscope for the trailer. That's what I was doing for the Batman movie. I've seen that trailer like 10 times.
We'll probably get a new trailer. I think the WB. What was the thing they did last year in the summer? The
DC fandom.
Yeah, I think fandom. It's next month, right? Or the month after?
The month after, I believe. Yeah.
October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll probably get a new trailer then. For Batman.
I thought they just showed some more footage at CinemaCon for Batman.
Oh, they did?
I'm pretty sure I read something about that.
Nice.
It's supposed to be excellent.
No, they put out a lot of stuff there. There were a lot of trailers that were released.
Yeah. That's where they did Spider-Man too.
They screened Ghostbusters for people, and everyone said it's awesome.
Yeah.
That one I'm going to the theater to see. That might be an opening night thing.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Thursday night when it opens.
All right, Logan, we'll figure it out. We'll meet up at Lake of the Hills is open. I think Crystal Lake just reopened.
Yeah, I like In the Hills one, AMC.
You have a movie theater called Crystal Lake?
No, I live in Crystal Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I like in the Ghostbusters trailer, I like how the trapper is connected to like an RC car. And as they're driving, chasing the ghost, like the little car with the trapper is like underneath the ghost in the afterlife. You guys
know what? On the movies that made us, I watched the Ghostbusters one, and that one was fantastic. That episode was great.
Yeah.
They were talking, Dan Aykroyd kept saying, no, Bill's part of this. And every time they'd go forward, they're like, has anyone talked to Bill about the movie? They're like, yeah, no, Bill's coming. Like no one knew Bill Murray if he was going to come on or not.
I like the game. I think the game is the third one. You guys played the game, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
The game, no.
Oh, you never played the game?
No.
No, I haven't either.
It's worth it.
Watch it on YouTube. It's all of them. It's all of them. It's before Hal Ramis died, so it's all of them voice acting the characters.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the closest thing we got to the third Ghostbusters.
I'll check it out because I remember Alien Isolation, and to me it's a video game, but to me it's still the best Alien sequel. And I think I'm not a big gamer, but they came out with like a reboot of Left 4 Dead.
Oh,
Well, it's the unofficial sequel. Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's Back 4 Blood, is it? Something like that.
Back 4 Blood, yeah. Because my cousin has it. I'm like, it's awful.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved that series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about the PS5, the new PS5 design? They made it a lot lighter, but the problem is the thing they removed to make it a lot lighter is the heat sink.
Okay.
So people are like, well, we're going to run into the 360 issue now, like where they try to get cheap and light with this stuff. It's going to start. So people are already writing off this gen now. I was like, well, I'll wait till the third one then. Like, if by the time the third one comes out, then the first one gets cheaper, I'm fine. I'll buy it when I can afford it. But because some of the games look fantastic.
And just going back to the Batman real quick, Bob, if they do a trilogy, we need to see the Mad Hatter, and I'm thinking Hugo Strange. They have to be in it.
If they could give us the long Halloween with the Mad Hatter and stuff, I'd be all for it. Like that's something Crispin Glover could come in and do. Honestly, Crispin Glover as the Mad Hatter would be great.
And could you imagine if they did like the Mad Hatter, like just kidnapping children, but like with that vibe of Seven? It'd be really creepy.
Yeah, it'd be great. What happened to everybody?
No, I'm excited for that movie, dude, because I've seen
I
it
don't know.
several times.
I haven't seen the animated Long Halloween yet. Want to? I just haven't
I
had
don't care
the.
for those animated ones. The Killing Joke one was horrible.
I didn't like Killing Joke. Dark Knight Returns was fantastic though.
All right, I might check that one out.
Oh, you never saw the Dark Knight? Oh yeah, dude. That one they pay very close attention to the source material. That and Flashpoint Paradox was fantastic as well.
I'm thinking I'm gonna see Shang-Chi. Like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I want to go back to the theater. And the only reason they got me was they're not streaming it like Black Widow. If they were streaming it like Black Widow, I would stay my ass at home, obviously. But
I'm hoping, from what I hear, like this is their trial run. Like they haven't said anything great about it yet. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
They're just like, oh yeah, we're going out there, and a lot of the people feel like they're a sample thing or they're a test audience, and they've already been written off.
What are you talking about?
Shang-Chi, Niall said he's going to go in the theater and see it.
Yeah.
I absolutely will as well.
Me too, yeah.
But a lot of the people are saying, even the star was feeling like they're being written off already. And
I saw that, yeah.
I could understand it. Plus, I saw the preview for the Eternals, where the first trailer got me sort of like, oh, okay, I know the stories. That second trailer hit, man, and I'm stoked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm excited for it. I never read the comic. I'm only going in because I liked obviously Chloe Zhao. I want to see what she does with the budget she has.
Well, if the Eternals,
Yeah.
well, what was it? Thanos was originally, he was the Mad Titan, but the Eternals had a big thing with him too.
Isn't that like once again, just need my comics cleared up. Thanos is from the same planet as the Eternals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so.
But he's not looked at as an Eternal.
Yeah.
But I think his parents were, it was a long thing, but man, the first, like, because everyone was complaining, well, if you have the Eternals, why didn't they do anything with Thanos? Why didn't they do this and this? First, like 20 seconds of that trailer answered every one of them questions. It was like someone was like, and they mad about this. We're gonna say that and that next one. You know, it tied up a lot of loose ends.
And the cinematography looks awesome. Like it's gonna be the best of every Marvel movie.
And plus, like, we can finally get some people behind a nerd. Like poor Kumail Nanjiani, who was the scrawny little comic for years. Now all of a sudden is buff as hell and he's going to be in a superhero project. I have to go out and just support that. You know, that guy spent years watching comics and reading comics, and now he's going to be in one. Just like Patton Oswalt in that MODOK series.
That's
which
right.
I don't know if
I started watching it. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, that show had me laughing my butt off.
Yeah. Gotta watch it.
Give it a try. It's by it feels like a Robot Chicken episode, sort of.
It does, yeah.
But it's MODOK, who is the big villain and all that, and yet he also has a home life, and he has kids that are going to school, and it's like what I would. It was just like, and Patton Oswalt's the voice.
He's like all powerful, but he has problems at home that he can't solve with his problem. But powers.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And like he has all this tech and all these henchmen to do everything he wants, but they're bumbling idiots. And it was something I didn't know I needed until I heard it existed. They're like, oh, Patton Oswalt's MODOK. And I was like, oh, that'd be great, you know? Then they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be an animated show. Like, all right. And they're like, and he has a family. I was like, all right, well, once I watched, I was like, yeah, this is fantastic. Horrible sequels or abandoned movie titles. What was that?
Both,
yeah.
Right.
Which one do you want to do first?
I could name off the world's worst
Sequels.
rather.
Sequels.
So Return of the Jedi.
What?
Oh God, no! Don't even get me started with the fact that the teddy bears took down the Nazis. That was a shit movie. Matrix 2 and 3, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 4.
It's not even out yet. There's not even a trailer.
Nope. Already gonna say it's gonna be terrible. I heard the description of the trailer and I was like, damn it, like I really want it to be good, but no. Return of the Jedi to me is the worst sequel of all time. It was
it's not worse than Skywalker. Come on.
No, but that's not a direct sequel to it. That was the only thing.
Okay.
I mean, I could say like Jaws, like 2 was terrible, and it was like no, just with how much I love Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi is the worst. And I think that's how I used it, was how good I liked this one, and then how good was the follow-up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For me, American Psycho 2.
Oh yeah. Mila Kunis. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
I forgot that existed.
Exactly.
That's why I'm here to remind you.
Now, who's gonna say Wonder Woman 84?
Thank you, Logan, for the Blu-ray. I still have it. It hasn't found its way to the garbage yet.
I forgot about that. Good call, man. Good call. I forgot about Wonder Woman 84.
I have to go with Caddyshack too. That's terrible.
It was just
with Robert Stack.
Yeah.
Maybe
Jackie
tonight
Mason.
you can help solve a mystery. Like, come on.
It has nothing to do with the first one other than Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
I used to like Caddyshack too. I watched it a lot as a kid.
That's one that's like, yeah, it's a shit movie, but like I watched it a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's a bad movie. I'm not gonna defend it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years, so I can't really say it. But I know I like the first one, but I remember it was just they showed this. There was a point where they just showed the second one more than the first one, and it was just on. I was like, this is passable to me. I was like, I don't see why everybody hates it. But I was like,
then you watch the first one. And
and then it's exactly. And then you're like, it's such a big difference.
It was one of those movies that came out way too late. It came out 10 years after the first one.
Yeah.
So it just didn't work. You had Chevy Chase, which was older, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It was stupid.
And plus, back then they didn't have like VHS releases and stuff. Like you had to rent, and they weren't really putting them out there like crazy. So you watched on HBO or something, and after that, it was the only time you got to really watch them.
I got every Transformers after the first one.
Oh, yeah.
I got Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh, I hated that movie.
And I think the worst one is Terminator Genesis.
Ooh,
Oh, I
didn't even see that one.
Sequels. Yeah, it's bad. Don't watch it.
It's very bad.
Yeah.
It makes me worried for the Sopranos movie because it's the same director. Like the guy who's doing the Sopranos movie doesn't really have that good of a resume for movies. TV is cool, but it's Alan Taylor. He did Terminator Genesis. He did the second Thor.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, put Thor 2 up there on that one.
So I'm kind of worried about his movie.
And Iron Man 2. I might be one of the few people who hate Iron Man 2, but I really don't like Iron Man.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know. There's sequels, I guess. I don't like the one, like, even as a kid, because when I was a kid, I'd watch any dumb comedy. But the one I remember not being good, like, as a kid, and I finally was like, this is not good, was the 7th Police Academy movie, Mission to Moscow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because nobody, like, most of the cast wasn't there anymore. Like, Steve Guttenberg wasn't there.
No.
So they just had, like, everybody, like, most of the people, like, had just left. So they tried to get, like, a guy to replace Steve Guttenberg. And that guy was terrible. And I don't even remember it, but I remember the whole thing was there was, like, an evil video game. And they had to, like, stop him because he was gonna, like, I think Ron Perlman was the bad guy, and he was like an evil Russian guy, and he was.
You know what? He does look Russian though.
Yeah, he does. Like that was really good casting. And then they had him do like this act. Like he did an okay job for what they did with him, but the movie's not good. And I've seen it. Like I think I tried to convince myself it was good because I was obsessed with Police Academy as a kid. I'll even watch Police Academy 5, Assignment.
Yeah. Which one was I like Citizens on Patrol. I like that one.
That one was my favorite one. I used to like that one. That's the one with David Spade in
like
one.
A 20-year-old David Spade, yeah.
Pet Cemetery 2 is another one that's got
I don't like that movie.
What?
Edward Furlong?
Guilty pleasure.
I kind of like that one.
Mr. Krabs is the bad cop. He's coming to get Edward Furlong.
I like when he chopped that kid's face in half with the motorcycle. That was awesome.
Yeah, there's some good kill scenes. No, this is the one I saw in theater back in the day. I still know what you did last summer. The second one with Brandy.
Black.
Yeah, Jack Black is a stoner in Jamaica. It was awful. It was shitty when I saw it in the 90s in theater.
I totally forgot about Jack Black being in that movie.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there's like a tanning bed scene where they zip tie it shut. I'm like, this is stupid.
I would like to kill, what's the black actor's name in that?
Pfeiffer?
Kai Pfeiffer was in
There
there.
you go.
His kill when he gets the hook through the bottom of his face. That was cool.
Like
Everything
him and
else-
Brandy were there. So you're just like, well, all right, I guess you guys are here now.
Because Brandy was like huge during that time, like her music and stuff, and she had her show.
Yeah.
But she just was not good in that movie. Yeah, I watched the first one not too long ago. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
It's not that good. Even with all those people in it, I think a lot of people are wasted in it.
Yeah.
Michelle Gellar, I think is her name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's her, Michelle Gellar. I remember her almost being the throwaway person. The
Yeah.
focus of those movies were Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Should've
More
been.
specifically, underneath Jennifer Love Hewitt's chin. That was the general, what they were hoping everyone would go to the movies for.
Best supporting actress is her cans.
I would have said the bra is the supporting actor part.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, they had that scene where she was screaming at like the sky saying, "Where are you? Come out!" and like bouncing around. And I'm like,
No, it was just so the camera could look right down. Just like in the second one, for no
Cut off
reason,
her-
she's in a
Cut off her face and just down here. Where are you?
like in the second one, she's in the fishing boat, all wet and iced up in the basement. Like, come on, you know what we're doing here now. And they were smart. As a kid, I was like, hell yeah, I saw that movie 3-4 times. Actually, one thing Logan and I talked about when I first met you was one of those sequels I thought were one of the worst ones, and I have since rewatched it and absolutely love it. Is Halloween 3.
That is one of my new favorite ones. It's excellent.
We were talking about it, and I said I can't get behind Halloween 3, but I watched it when I was a kid expecting Michael Myers, and it's not a Michael Myers story. If
Yeah.
you watch it as a standalone, it's fucking phenomenal.
Well, yeah, Carpenter wanted to do like different stories for each movie. Just do Michael Myers for the first one, second one to be a different story, but they only did the third one. A lot of people hated that until years later. You kind of look past that and watch it for its own story. It's really good.
Yeah, NECA put out a 3-pack of the kids.
I want those. I haven't found them anywhere.
Target is usually where I find the ones I like.
I've been looking. I haven't seen them.
I'll keep an eye open because they just announced they're putting out the Universal monster movies. They're doing the regular ones, and then they're doing black and white variants. So
Cool.
they have the Wolfman. I'm just waiting for the black and white Wolfman because that was my favorite Universal monster movie.
Yeah, me too.
When Harry Met Lloyd, Dumb and Dumber.
I love that movie. I watched it. That's another one. I watched it way too much. I just like the part when Bob Saget, he like starts screaming because like
you shit on my
shit all over the walls.
And did anyone ever see the sequel to Piranha, the 2007 one, 3DD?
Oh yeah, I have it in the DVD rack.
I haven't seen it in years, but I want to go back and watch it. Was that good? I don't remember.
No, it's terrible, but I got it for $1 at the dollar store. You'd be surprised if you go to a dollar store, man. The Blu-rays, like I got that Lego Batman movie,
I know, me too. Yeah.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, I got they don't have the great movies, but I got like Central Intelligence for like $3 on Blu-ray.
Central Intelligence is an awesome movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's really bad to say, but I will watch The Rock and Kevin Hart in almost anything.
Yeah, I got one more sequel. Probably one of the worst movies ever made. Bob would know this. Trolls 2.
No! Eating them. They're gonna eat me.
That movie is so bad. I remember watching that on like VHS back in the day. So
You watched that? You actually watched? Wow.
Oh yeah.
I only know that one clip of it from the movie.
Oh no, I've seen that movie many times. I owned it on DVD for the longest time just because it's so bad that you can put it on and just almost Rocky Horror it. You know when the bad parts are coming. You know when you can laugh.
You watch it with your buddies in college. It's like a drinking game. Every time there's bad acting, take a shot or whatever. You black out drunk. And
I was gonna say people are dead within an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those movies. It's so bad.
I think they have a documentary on it called The Best Worst Movie Ever, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember watching it on HBO. It was like, premiere Saturday, and my buddies and I were sitting around, we're going to watch it. And I remember one time going, is that kid reading off of the screen? That was the biggest thing. Because he would sit there and say half his line. And then he'd come back and I was like, did he just look off the screen?
Their budget for that movie was like $20.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't get... God, who was in the first one? There was a big actress in the first Trolls, wasn't there? Nope, never mind. I'm thinking of First Leprechaun, and that was Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston, yep.
Pre-nose job.
Yeah.
Oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Oh, she was in Troll.
Yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I thought Julia Louis-Dreyfus was Armando Shazam. Like he says it and he disappears. From now on, I want that to be like when someone says goodbye, just be like, all right, see you guys later, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I wish.
Just you said it and it all went black. Like, oh shit.
We're kind of talking about the video game adaptations, kind of bringing up the next topic, abandoned movie projects. One I was thinking about was Gore Verbinski's BioShock movie. BioShock is one of my favorite game series of all time. So
I didn't know there was going to be a movie.
Yeah, it was a while ago. They were in production for it and then pulled the plug on it. But I was really excited for that. I wish they would.
I think he would have pulled that off.
Yeah, because he's like a really great, like, dark director. Like, his movies are kind of eerie. Did The Ring, Pirates of the Caribbean. He did Cure for Wellness, which was a really great movie, Dane DeHaan. But
yeah, that's a good movie. Then Mouse Hunt. I like Mouse Hunt.
Yep, that too.
It's weird that all those and then Mouse Hunt as well. Well, Mouse Hunt opens with a dead guy.
I like The Weatherman. He did that one too with Nick Cage.
Yeah, that one I like too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other guy who was supposed to do Dune.
Oh, Drabinsky.
Yeah, that there's a documentary out about
Yeah.
it where it goes through the storyboard. Yeah.
Oh, Jodorowsky. I think that's
Yes.
Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept hearing that. Yeah, I didn't see that documentary, but I remember that thing was like they kept trying to develop it for years and years, and it just never came out.
That and Kung Pao 2 was supposed to be made, and they abandoned that, and that still hurts me.
That would have been good.
I love that movie so much.
For me, the director of Mad Max, he was supposed to do a Justice League movie way back in like 2005. I think it would be better than
I
the
remember that one. Yeah.
I think it would have been a lot better than the actual Justice League, but that could be said for anything. I think he went and Kate Beckinsale as Wonder Woman. I'm like, I can actually see that.
I want to see a Terminator movie when like all those flashbacks, you see the machines walking and like shooting the laser. I want to see a movie about that.
Right, yeah.
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 I think I
Well,
said
that's
this
what the
before.
video game was, remember?
Yeah.
There was that big game, like that was all it was.
I just want the director of Blade Runner 2049 to do a Terminator movie, the same guy who's doing Dune. Just let him end it. Please, just end it.
Wait, Armando, did you read Dune?
No, I never, no.
Oh, it's so good.
I never read it either.
I only know the first movie.
Yeah, I've never read it. I know about it. It looks. I mean, the movie looks interesting.
Logan, did you read
but I
it?
never read it.
Nope.
I have to say I haven't either. That was one of the series I
It's
never
awesome.
read.
It's gonna be if Villeneuve, which I think he'll do it. It's gonna be amazing.
I have the first one, but we have a bunch of the books at work. I might start thumbing through it because they even put out graphic novel adaptations now.
Oh, cool.
So some of the abandoned projects I got is Cary Fukunaga's It.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
The Edgar Wright Ant-Man.
That would have been good. Yeah.
I think would have been better based upon because he won the Oscar and basically Hollywood just said, do whatever you want. Is Spider-Man by James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been cool.
Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah, it would have been him.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Mercury with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
The Christopher Nolan Howard Hughes movie. Let's see, the Vega Brothers, which maybe I hope happens for Tarantino's last movie. That'd be cool. We got Michael Madsen and John Travolta together.
Well, every time I hear Michael Madsen is in something now, I just know it's going to be bad.
Pretty much.
It would have been great if Kubrick was the AI that Kubrick was supposed to do, because he wanted to wait for like an actual artificial boy. That would have been cool. And finally, I think everyone will like this: the Superman starring Nick Cage.
Yes, that was on my list.
Yeah.
Dude, that suit was insane.
That hair was insane.
Do all of it. I'm actually reading. I actually decided I was gonna look through and see a couple ones, just anyone out there, because I didn't do any research on it. That was also one that will never be made though.
What's that one?
That's the one Jim Belushi said he would do, and he ended up dying. Chris Farley took it on. Chris Farley died. It's said to be the cursed script. John Belushi, Sam Kinison, John Candy, Chris Farley are all people who have signed on to do it, and they ended up dying. And then Phil Hartman was supposed to be in it, and he ended up dying as well. And it's this.
Jesus.
It's also Shrek with Chris Farley as Shrek. I remember they actually have film of that out there, of Chris Farley doing Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
with
talked
no
about,
accent.
Yeah, we talked about that with Uncle Jesse, I think.
But yeah, that it took like there's rumors that people still want to make it, but no one wants to tempt fate.
Is Tyler Perry busy?
There you go.
Oh, I also have one, the cheapest Muppets movie ever made. Have you guys heard about that one?
No.
So apparently it was going to be directed by Gonzo, and the first 10 minutes, he was going to blow the budget on the intro and the opening action sequence, and as the movie goes on, it's just smaller budgeted and it's cheap. So,
oh God, I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah. By the end of the movie, it's just basically, the cheapest stuff you can find. But the first 10 minutes is like high budget action. Should everyone watch He's All That?
No.
Nope. Okay.
No.
She's all.
What?
She's All That with Rachel Lee Cook.
No, they made a sequel, man. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
It's on Netflix.
It's called He's All That.
And it's the kid from Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
oh.
And he looks, according to everyone in that school, he's unattractive because he has a beanie and he wears flannel. He takes his shirt off and he's like a jack guy. I'm like, this guy would not have problems getting women.
Right. No shit. Because he plays Robbie, right? In Cobra
Yes,
Kai.
Robbie. Yeah, I always forget the character's name.
He's just a regular Quasimodo in movie world.
Yeah. And he's also 16.
And it's funny because like they make fun of it in Not Another Teen Movie. They're like, oh, not her. She has pigtails. Oh, she's wearing suspender or what was it? Overalls. What a loser.
That's after like they pick a hunchback, they pick like conjoined twins. It's like, oh no, we can make this work. We can't make that work though.
Oh, she's an albino. What about the albino? She plays
Yes,
guitar.
the albino
Any girl who plays sport, any girl who plays an instrument's hot.
I might watch the sequel though. I actually do like that movie. It's kind of a guilty.
Oh,
pleasure.
don't do that to yourself.
Okay.
Rachel Lee Cook is the mother of the female character.
Oh,
Oh, so she's them.
And and Matt
but they're
Lillard.
not the same person.
What's up?
Are they the same? Like, is this a sequel or is this just a?
No, I think it's a sequel because Rachel Lee Cook is Weenie.
Really?
She's the same character.
Yeah, same character, and it's just basically she's grown up and her kid is now
The
what
mean
Freddie
kid?
Prinze Jr. was. She's popular, and
But you would think, like, if I remember correctly, wasn't she kind of like a free spirit and blah blah blah? So is Matthew Lillard the same character then, like the weird
I assume
reality
so,
TV guy?
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, I may watch it just a curiosity.
was this something that was supposed to be in theaters and they put it on Netflix?
No,
or-
it's straight to
Well, no.
No.
There's no way this hit theaters.
It's the same screenwriter though.
It looks like a CW show.
Yes, it does.
The closest this will come to be releasing in theaters is if you watch Netflix on your phone in the lobby. Like, I even saw the trailer and was just like, oh. No.
It was one movie I was very interested in a few years ago. They were going to do a Rod Serling biopic. And it sounded interesting because it was going to be, I think Richard Kelly was going to do it. And I like that guy. Like, his stuff is crazy. And I was like, oh, he's going to come back. Because I've watched Southland Tales a bunch of times. And I even bought the Blu-ray. And I don't understand that movie. But I was like, okay, if they're going to get him to do a Rod Serling thing, I was like, let's see what happens with it. But I don't think it ever went anywhere. And I think CBS was going to produce it. I kept hearing all this stuff about it. And then it just kind of never really went anywhere.
What does he die? Like, what's the last thing he did, Richard Kelly?
I think it was The Box. I think The Box was the last thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a movie where you're supposed to believe Cameron Diaz was from Texas. And I'm like, okay, that was offensive to me. I was like, don't do that.
The Box was the last thing? That's his
Wow.
legacy?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was his last movie.
Movie.
It has a good concept. It's just, I don't know. Like, people defend that now that people will say that movie's good. It's not good. I give it credit because at least you can tell they gave that guy money and then they were like, okay, this movie bombed. You're not allowed to make movies again. But that movie's not good. It's a mess.
I think they've made a spoof of it where they come up and they're like, oh, if you push this button, you get $1 million. And they hit it. And he's like, no, you didn't wait. He's
Yeah.
like, but someone you don't know is going to die. And he hits it again. He's like, do I
Yeah, I
get
remember.
$2 million now? And he's hitting it a bunch of times. People are dropping.
I tried
What
to
else?
watch that movie on Netflix. It didn't hold up.
Box?
Yeah. It was on Netflix, and then that was when everybody on Letterboxd was saying, "Oh no, this movie, like people just didn't understand it at the time. It's actually a masterpiece if you watch it again." But I was like, "No, it isn't."
I tell you, like, I don't like the director's cut of Donnie Darko.
Yeah, it's not as good. Like, I think they explain. That's a movie you don't need to explain too much.
Yeah, it's too.
Yeah.
They over-explain everything in that movie.
Yeah. I think some movies, it's just good. It's good because it's about the atmosphere and the vibes of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never watched the director's cut of it. I love Donnie Darko, but
Yeah.
it is one that I never bought any other cut. Like, I was like, I like what I see here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never bought the boutique one. I was tempted to, though. I think Arrow's putting it out on this Holy
Yeah,
Cow.
they did. I think they put a 4K out like recently.
No, I love Donnie Darko though. That was
Yeah, it's
also
good. I love that.
that was
movie.
right around the time I watched Primer. Got really into the movie Primer.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
I interviewed Dave Sullivan, who was Abe in Primer, and I told him I was a huge fan, and he told me that I could reach out and we'd get together and talk about Primer. I was like, I had to print off timelines. It's one of the few time travel type movies that like I felt got it right on a budget. Like the story was phenomenal.
I don't get that movie, but it's one of those movies I'm like, okay, I don't get it, but I don't want to get it. I just like the feeling of it.
Totally out of left. Has anyone watched the Val Kilmer documentary on Amazon?
No. Not yet.
Yeah, no.
Not yet.
I heard it was really good, but I can't bring myself to watch it. Huh?
It's very sad.
Well, yeah. They did a deep fake or something to let him narrate it still. Like they filled in his voice and stuff because of how he has to talk now. But no, I've heard good things. I don't know if I can do it just because like you watch the man's downfall, like through illness. I mean, it's not like it's a spiral downward of poor choices. But I was curious because no one's talked about it. I'm just, like you said, I heard it's sad and I was like, I don't know if I could watch it.
Yeah, I got like 2 weeks left before I go back to work. I'm on like a 3-week vacation. I'm definitely gonna check that out. I'm going through everything I missed.
What about that Neil Blomkamp alien movie that everybody kept talking? I kind of wanted to see that. Yeah, they kept talking about it. I think it always kept almost happening, and then like nothing came of it.
Well, Ridley Scott doesn't want it to happen. He's like, you can do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
when I'm
that's
done.
right. Yeah,
like when I'm dead and done making these movies.
Yeah.
Which I don't like because, no offense to Ridley Scott, those last Alien movies not that good.
Oh, I like Prometheus, but like Covenant, I don't know.
Oh, I hated Covenant. I fell asleep in the theater.
I saw it at home, so probably that's why I didn't hate it. I hate it as much because I had to spend money on it.
The flute, Michael Fassbender's like, I'll be
that
I'm not even.
The flute.
There were some grown people behind me, and they were like, really, I fell asleep. Like, I like this movie's really bad. And somebody was like, the janitor was like, sir. And he's like, please move. I have to sweep the aisle. And I was like,
over?
Yeah. And the lights were on. It was kind of embarrassing. It was. But I just remember falling asleep, like in and out. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like this movie.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I liked Prometheus.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was good.
The Covenant, I didn't like. That's why I was like, Alien Isolation really is the best sequel.
There was supposed to be a sequel to Killer Clowns from Outer Space that still might happen. Netflix picked up the option, but I've been wanting that movie for years. I don't even know what it'll be about, but if it gets me more of the clowns, I'm cool. That, and there was always rumors about Freddy versus Jason versus Michael, Ash. First it was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, because they made the comic series, and I've been sort of wanting that still to happen.
I love Freddy versus Jason. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
it's let me put it this: when I was watching the box set, it was a nice return to form because everything after Friday the 13th part, I think 4 or 5, is shit. I don't know if you guys basically agree, but Jason Goes to Hell was terrible.
Oh, yeah. What you mean to tell me Jason X wasn't what you were? That wasn't what you were expecting.
It's Jason X.
Like, you don't like 2 girls just getting beat up in bags against the tree. This is one of my favorite scenes in that damn movie.
So once he got back to like Freddy vs. Jason, I'm like, okay, this is what I like.
No,
dark meat. I like that quote.
I literally live, like I said, I live in Crystal Lake. So on Friday the 13th, there was a showing of the first Friday the 13th outside on the beach. And at the end where the cops pull up and the woman's just in the boat, they actually had the cops come out and go onto the lake where a girl was just sitting there with her hand on the boat. And then someone jumped out. Like, that's
awesome.
They're going to do it every year from now on. But I forgot how great that movie was. Like, I was too young to see it in the theater. So seeing it outside with other people reacting made that movie like new again. It was really cool. Like, it brought me back to being a kid. Like, all of a sudden,
did they show the unrated cut or okay.
Oh yeah. And it was funny because the snake scene, right? Where they Chop the snake.
Yeah.
That was an actual snake, and that's one of the first time PETA went ape shit. Like that was a big one, and so was Blazing Saddles when what's his name knocks out the horse. That's not a stunt horse. He literally knocked out a horse. Punched the horse so hard the horse fell over. Yes. But I forgot how great it was, how great Pamela Voorhees was as a character. Even she wasn't even on there that long. But like just how absolutely demented and like just terrible acting for a lot of parts. But it was fun. Dex will get stuck on something and he'll want to know everything about it. And around Friday the 13th, he started asking questions about the movie. I'm like, bud, you're too young. You're too young. And then he's like, I was reading that this and this. And I was like, yeah, well, when you're older, I'll let you watch these movies, even though I was younger than him when I first started watching them. He's 8 right now.
Oh yeah, I watched that stuff when I was like 6.
Yeah, like when I think about what I did at his age, what he's doing at his age, like it's a different age. Like, yeah, I watched The Shining at 9 years old. That ruined me. 9 or 10. Yeah, that got me.
The first R-rated movie I saw was The Terminator. I was in elementary school. That's all I remember. And I turned out somewhat okay.
He wants to watch Jaws, and I was like, but I don't think you're going to like it. There's not a lot of shark,
Oh.
Although, would that be a movie that never got abandoned? Like the Jaws that if the prop didn't break? How much more shark we would have got? I'm curious about that one.
No, it worked out perfectly the way it is.
So who saw The Green Knight?
Haven't seen
I have it at the house. I
Logan?
haven't watched it yet.
It was a mind trip, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be more action. It's more character driven and his journey to this place. And it's a good movie to watch if you take acid. It's a lot of weird, trippy imagery in it. I didn't expect, but yeah, it's good. It's a movie I'd rewatch.
How was Dev Patel?
Really great.
Yeah,
I thought he really stole the show. Joel Edgerton was really great in it. The female, I can't think of her name right now.
Dick Lander?
Yes, she was great.
Doesn't she play 2 roles in it?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. I mean, it's $20. I'll drop $20 for that probably.
Yeah. I recommend it. It's A24. It's one of the better movies of the year for sure. I liked it.
Did you see the trailer for this movie for A24 called Lamb?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Gerard Butler.
Jesus Christ.
He's having sex with those animals in the barn. That's the story, I think.
Really?
Well, maybe I'm just weird, but I think that is the story. Like he's molesting the animals, maybe.
Jesus Christ.
Is it a documentary? Okay, good. Not all right.
No,
that's what I got from it.
I was really worried for a moment.
What else did you watch, Logan, besides Green Knight?
Let's see. Watched a horror movie called Last Matinee. It's pretty good. It's like a 90s slasher flick. Been watching Outer Banks on Netflix.
What is that about?
They're trying to find a hidden treasure. There's like a ship that goes down like back in the day, and it's an island in North Carolina. A bunch of teenagers end up going on this ship to find this.
In their 20s?
No, 30s.
30s.
The main guy's name is John B. In the show. He's like early 30s. He's like 32.
He's playing what, 18?
16 for the show. 16. Yeah, it's funny. But they go on this trip in North Carolina looking for this gold. His dad ends up dying. He's looking for the gold too, and his dad dies, so the kids go out looking for it. Come across all these bad guys. It's a little slow at first, but it gets better.
Now, is it an anthology or is it a continuous story through?
Continuous story for two. There's only 2 seasons of it, but a new one's coming out next year.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot like a modern Goonies, where they go on this trip trying to find gold to help their families because they're poor and just the bad things they come across.
Yeah, because like my dad binged Manifest like in a week.
Yeah, I heard that was pretty good.
Yeah, he likes it. And, he's like, oh, what else? He's like, oh, what's his Outer Banks thing? And I'm like, I heard, it's pretty good. So I'll recommend it to him again.
Yeah, there's a few of the characters in the show are really great, really good. Like younger actors, unknown actors. I've never seen them before.
Yeah.
A lot of good reggae music in it. One of the actors, the bad guy in the show, he's the guy from Nashville that played Deacon. I know Armando.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Armando's seeing it. Yeah, he plays the bad guy in the show. He's really good.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a weird role for him. And the young female actress, she looks like Florence Pugh a little bit. So Kev, you might like that.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, yeah, she's pretty good. I don't know her name, her real name. I haven't seen her in anything, but she's good.
Yeah, I'm watching. Oh, good. Sorry. Good.
Yeah, just give it a go if you're looking for something to watch.
I'm watching the Hardy Boys on Hulu. I just took a shot with it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, unknown actors too, because like you were saying Outer Banks has unknown actors,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a family show, and the mystery is pretty good so far, I think.
Cool.
Every time I hear the Hardly Boys, I think of that episode of South Park.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, I got such a.
But yeah, I'll tell you, like I'm not really digging Fear Street that much.
See, I told you because the nostalgia, the music, they just hit you over the head with it.
Yeah,
It gets better. That's all I'll say. But the first one,
I gotta watch I watched the second one. I actually like the first one better than the second one.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, but yes. I don't know. It's just it doesn't connect with me. I don't know. There's something about it that is just off.
No, you know what it is? It's how can I put it? Like Logan, I know you'll like it because it's horror, but like let's say you're going to a restaurant, you get a steak.
Yeah.
And you're expecting a good steak, but let's say you get a steak from Golden Corral. It's like, at the end of the day, it's a steak that you've had better.
Yeah.
Now, from now on, when you do movie reviews, I want you to compare them to various food dishes I will eat at various restaurants.
He can do that. Niall can do that. He's ever like those Facebook pictures. He's like this.
Yeah, well, when you said a steak from Golden Corral, for some reason, I like it rang right in my ear.
And
I was
it's
like,
true.
oh yeah,
That's
it's good, but it's not what it should be.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, it's perfect. It's exactly how I feel about that show. Or the series, whatever trilogy. So I think what else have we been watching? Tom and Jerry was horrible.
Didn't it feel like it wasn't done?
Well, let me tell you something. Like the problem in the second act, like where she destroys the wedding and then basically puts together a wedding. The conflict was like 5-10 minutes. She was only in like trouble for 5-10 minutes. And we'll put on a backup wedding. No problem. Yeah.
But that social commentary for the fact that anything a little girl thinks is a horrible thing, it's not. It was 5 minutes of drama.
Yep. Exactly.
It also felt like to me, it felt like the animation wasn't done fully.
No,
it seriously felt like it was rushed through.
Yes.
And they chucked it out there.
I've said this on the podcast. I've said this to my friends and everyone I know that it's crazy that a movie over 30 years old, Roger Rabbit, looks better than that movie.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Yes.
I just revisited Roger Rabbit, and it's still fucking such a great movie.
Incredible.
I have to get it on Blu-ray because on Disney Plus, it seemed, I don't know if the scan is good or not.
Have your kids seen Roger Rabbit? Have your boys seen Roger Rabbit?
Have my boy? Yeah, the boys watched it.
Okay, good.
They like it?
Oh, dude, they loved it.
Yeah.
Well, the best thing is like Dex had the same reaction to me of when they were playing patty cake. So what the heck are they playing patty cake for? She's like, as a kid, I wondered the same thing. Now I'm like, Jesus.
Oscar's reaction to that part is amazing. He just blows the camera. He's like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Yeah. No, like there's a lot of subtle, like
yes, there's a lot of adult humor in
it.
that movie that I watched it when I was older, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Like even as a kid, I didn't understand that I want this on the rocks, and I mean ice. Like I didn't understand that as a kid, and like it's sad that I didn't at like 10 years old. Well, actually, no, it's good. My parents were hardcore alcoholics, and I wasn't around the ordering. But no, that movie's fantastic. It was definitely something I'm gonna have to revisit like once a year at least.
I gotta revisit it. What else did I watch? Gunpowder Milkshake. I didn't really care for.
Oh, really?
No, I love that.
Yeah,
Really?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they stripped Karen Gillian over her personality. I know she's supposed to be a stone kill killer, but like I don't know. It just felt very knockoff. Another Golden Corral steak kind of thing. No, you're the one who suggested Till Death to me, right?
Megan Fox, yeah.
That was good. I liked it. Short
Okay.
too. It was an hour and 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Great.
It doesn't overstay its welcome. It gets to the point.
And she's perfect. She does her job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never thought I would say this, but guys, really, check out a Megan Fox movie.
Yes. No, I agree. I'll second
That's
that.
the one.
And
But
then,
really, it turned me around. I'm like, I like you, actually.
and then I watched Romeo and Juliet from Troma Studios.
Nice.
Oh,
That's a
I
good
haven't
one.
even heard of this.
Yeah, James
I've seen
Gunn did it. He wrote it, and
Mhm.
it's just like it's Romeo and Juliet, but it's just everything that the suicide. So imagine the vibe of Suicide Squad injected into Romeo and Juliet.
I'm in.
The violence, the language, the nudity.
Is it old?
It's from the 90s. Yeah, it's like
All right.
it's one of I think it's James Gunn's first thing he did.
Yeah, before Slither, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this was great before Slither. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now that movie, I have the boutique Holy Cow edition.
I have it on
Yeah,
DVD. I love
classic.
that movie. Yeah.
And what else did I watch? I finished Deadwood, and I watched the movie. Deadwood was awesome.
Mhm.
Still got to check it out.
Oh, wow, you would love it.
I'm watching White Lotus right now. Really, like I said, really interesting.
Yeah.
Should I watch
then-
it?
Huh?
Should I watch it? Too early
So
to
far,
decide?
I'm gonna reserve my opinion for you yet until I'm done with it. But it's curious. You know what I mean? There's something there, and you're waiting every episode to get a little bit more. It's nothing
Yeah.
glaring at you.
Yeah,
So-
the ending was good. Like it ends in a good note.
I'm only on episode 3. But yeah, all of a sudden, like it's almost like someone's telling you to like come here. So you keep going, all right,
Yeah.
you know, but it's great. Like the acting's actually really good. Not that it's much acting, like, hey, you two girls act like really spoiled kids. Oh, okay, we can, you know what I mean? Like it's not mind-blowing acting, but it's pretty decent so far.
Cool.
That, and I think they
Yeah.
put up a 9/11 documentary. I think they put up
I watched it. It was
they
good.
put up an Abraham Lincoln documentary. Yeah. I'm all for documentaries, but knock it off. You know, just wait. Does anyone have Peacock?
No.
Yeah.
I do.
Dr. Death was fucking awesome. Seriously.
Yeah, I watched it. That was crazy. Like that guy, he just kept doing all these different surgeries.
Joshua Jackson, like, yeah, Conway came up and was a liability in the surgery room too. Like, definitely check it out. They also have a documentary on it as well. So I watched the series and now I'm watching the documentary. Just pretty much they're affirming what you saw, but different points of view and actual victims talking. So it was really good. I highly recommend Dr. Death. Alec Baldwin, Christian Slater, of course,
Joshua Jackson?
Joshua Jackson. Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I think you guys would like it, especially since it's based on the true story and all that.
Did you know the story before you watched it?
No, I didn't listen to the
Oh yeah,
podcast.
yeah, that's a crazy podcast.
Did you watch the show yet?
No, I don't have Peacock, so
It's worth it. Honestly, Peacock is becoming more and more worth it to me because originally I got it for the wrestling, but like more and more now, like I'm finding more shows on there. I'm like, oh, like I can rewatch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is one of my favorite shows.
yeah.
Even though this season's really bad so far.
It's not great.
It has like the
It's the last
Office
season
on
too,
it,
right?
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
This is the last season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I wish they would have got a 9th season to end on the 9th episode of the 9th season so you could get that final
Yeah.
9, but it's like one of those things where it's like one of the best shows that no one's watching or no one's talking about at least.
I saw
Yeah.
this one clip where who's the Andre? Who's the chief in that show?
Andre
Oh, yeah.
Brower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how he's played, and like basically Andy Samberg was late to a meeting, and the chief like came up with
All the high fives.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
The cold opens for some of the episodes will have the one where he has the whole lineup singing "I Want It That Way" is another cold.
Oh
open.
yeah.
Like get a free trial, Kev. Get a free trial and then see, because honestly, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is good, but they're starting to put a lot more originals on there.
Yeah, there's a show coming on Foundation I want to watch. It's like
Foundation.
Yeah, it's based on that science fiction author Isaac. He did iRobot. Isaac
Asimov.
Yes. Yeah, and supposedly this is like one of his best novels, and they're adapting it to a TV show. Yeah.
I thought that was Apple. I think that's another Apple.
Yeah, that's Apple.
Oh, it's Apple?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow, it's gonna air September 24th. I do have the whole new series, the new Stand. I have to watch too.
It's supposed to be terrible.
Yeah, I didn't hear good things about that.
That's what I've heard. I've never read the book either, though.
Yeah, well, it's on CBS, so you know it's gonna be shit.
That's what the Flash actor, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ezra Miller's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I've heard horrible things about that. Although I have told people to watch Dune, the classic, because from what I'm hearing, the new one's going to blow just the old one out of the water.
Yeah. I meant the originals in the 80s, though.
And I feel like Dune is one I have to see in theaters.
Yes, that's a must for me. I'm like, can't watch it.
See that in the biggest screen possible.
I was going to say I might go up to a town over here, Gurney. They have the 4D theaters.
Yeah.
That Kevin Smith is always talking about, the 4D theaters.
Yeah.
This one I might have to go. It's like $15 a ticket, but your chair moves with it, and
everything I'm reading, and some of the stuff I've read, I've seen the trailer. He's gonna do. I think he's gonna knock it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do a 4D movie. Like when I sit down, I want to sit down. I don't want to feel like someone's moving me.
I did a couple substances throughout my youth that made me feel like I was part of the movie. I guess I just want to feel that too without having to fail a test.
Well, for me, I'm doing What If, obviously, an American Horror Story.
Yes, I'll do What If.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, for me too.
Yeah, I'll catch up. There's a movie called Oxygen. It's on Netflix.
No.
Yeah.
No, speaking of Netflix, I think I'm gonna maybe commit suicide and watch that Rachel Lee Cook sequel.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm gonna do it too, man.
Only because I do like the first one. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yes, I like She's All That.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check it out. Interested to hear what you think about it.
So next time I'm in this chair, if I become a skeleton, or you'll know why.
I finished watching Cobra Kai. I finally finished that. I liked it a lot. It was fun.
Yeah, I like Cobra Kai. It's cool.
Yeah, they got the tone right. Like for that kind of show, it's it's 30 minutes, but it's a lot of stuff going on. I like all the interactions. Like it knows it's supposed to be cheesy, and it knows it's not supposed. It doesn't take itself too seriously, because there's too many shows now. They're like taking themselves too seriously. I feel like now everything's like gritty and serious. Like you need shows like that to exist too. They're just there to have fun. Like I like how all the stuff with all the characters, like how they ended it. It changed, it evolved, and some people are on one side of like some people are bad, some people are good, and then it kind of switches like around like by the last season. I do like now there's like we have to have an alliance and we have to fight against Kreese, because Kreese, I had fun with Kreese, because Kreese, he knows what show he's on and he's having a good time, because that guy he's like a bad guy, but he's like showing a lot of scenery, but like for what he's doing it good. Like I want to see more of what he's gonna do.
Yeah. Got 2 more seasons coming out.
Yeah, 2 more seasons. And I like the William Zabka's good. Like I didn't think it was gonna be good, because I was like, I haven't seen this guy acting since like the 80s. And he's like good. Like I like how he doesn't understand technology. Like there was one episode where he's like, oh, I threw my phone away. He's like, he's with Miguel. He's like, oh, you can go on Facebook. I put it on your phone. He's like, I threw my phone away. He's like, you can put it on your computer, right? And yeah, but I like it. I want to see where it goes. It's really good. So like I finished it, so I don't know what I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna find a new show to watch.
Yeah.
I
may also check out Annette.
I saw that. It was weird.
Weird.
It's very weird, because like that movie's just a lot of it. Like the music, like the musical parts are good. The songs, I like them. They're kind of monotonous, but I think everybody had a good voice for what it was. I just thought it was funny because a lot of that movie is about the doll and what they do with the doll sometimes, which is funny to me. Like you're supposed to just think it like, oh, everybody thinks this doll is talented, and I thought Adam Driver did a really good job in it.
I like Adam Driver.
Yeah, he did great in it. It's a weird movie though.
Oh, the new one on Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah, Net.
I'm gonna check out Vacation Friends on Hulu, the John Cena little.
It's supposed to be really funny.
Yeah.
I may check that
Yeah,
out too.
I heard the same.
John Cena's actually a funny actor.
Yeah, I like John Cena as an actor.
Even Blockers, I love that. I loved his role in Blockers.
Never saw that. I still want to though.
It's there's one scene where he talks to the kids are using their butt chugging. He's like, "What the hell are they doing?" And you're like, "Oh, you put the tube in your ass and then you chug beer down and it get you drunker faster." And they have John Cena do it, and it's seriously, it's just now. Trust me, the movie's hilarious. You'll like it.
Yeah, I'm still checking out Mr. Corman on Apple TV Plus. It's been pretty good for the most part. That's out on Fridays. I'll watch that.
What episode is it on now?
Episode 5, halfway through the season.
Okay.
But yeah,
How many? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it's been pretty decent for the most part. It's depressing, but it's good.
Yeah. And how many episodes can I watch when I do the thing for 9/11? Because you said like I can watch like Corman's, right?
Yeah, you can watch all of them if you want.
Oh, okay, cool.
You can watch the whole season of Mr. Corman, even though it's not out. But we can't release any reviews for certain episodes until the embargo's lifted.
Okay.
But yeah, you can watch the whole season if you want.
Maybe I'll check. Can I access what's that show everyone's talking about on Apple?
Ted Lasso.
Lasso.
Yeah, that's not on there.
That
No,
was not- okay.
no.
Oh man, has anyone seen Reservation Dogs yet?
No, not yet.
No.
Yeah.
I just got a text of all this stuff I'm supposed to watch, and there's Secrets of the Morgue, Reservation Dogs, and my buddy just messaged me, by the way, Tick is all on Hulu now, so might have to go to Hulu and watch the Tick again.
The cartoon or the live action one?
Oh, cartoon. The cartoon was amazing.
All right. Well, like a Golden Corral steak, let's put this thing away before we have too much. All right. So for the CinePhellas, this is episode 122 of the CinePhellas Podcast. Logan, until next time, you know what to say.